Nothing is organic, man. Media and marketing relationships are key when attempting to scale any brand, yo. You see, what you may think of as organic interest sometimes is nothing more than audience seeding from marketing departments. All that shit is based upon already established relationships with key entities working in the dark to create an illusion of general public interest. Since we all know the game and know that the game exists, then it most likely should be played when you have the tools available to play it at an elevated level. You see, that brings me to this quick video, man. 5 ways that AEW can leverage their relationship with Warner Media. This is in no particular order of importance, but still, let's get it shaking at number 5, yo. So coming in at number 5, yo, we have Sports Illustrated. Many of you may or may not know, but SI.com is actually owned by Warner Media. This may be apparent by their consistent echo chamber of positive reporting on AEW, their one-on-one interviews with their talent, and their slight difference in tone when it comes to reporting on WWE news as compared to AEW. It's since been changed, but when Bill Goldberg won the Universal title from The Fiend at Super Showdown, the Twitter headline originally had his name printed as Oldberg instead of Goldberg. Now, I didn't do a major search for the shit, but I was unable to find it still available on SI.com or Twitter. With that stated, every article on Bill Goldberg on Sports Illustrated makes mention of his age, while no article of Chris Jericho on the site makes any mention of the fact that he'll be 50 years old this year. You see, man, that's the advantage of being in bed with a media conglomerate, though. They can spin a positive narrative about you while spinning a slightly less positive one about others who operate within the same industry. So good or bad, it's a weapon, and there'll be fools not to continue to use that shit, even more so than they already have already. Alright, man, so coming in at number 4, we got HBO Max. Once again, in case you didn't know, HBO Max is a new streaming platform that will be operating under the umbrella of Warner Media and is set to debut in May of this year. The original HBO apps were developed by BAMTech Media, who also developed the original WWE app. BAMTech Media is now known as Disney Streaming Services, but HBO Max has been developed in-house utilizing the resources at AT&T. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that shit, yo. Warner Media is actually owned by the multi-billion-dollar telecommunications conglomerate AT&T. I'll circle back around a little bit later and do a little two-step on that shit, yo. HBO Max will feature content such as the heavily anticipated Season 3 of Westworld, Rick and Morty, and original programming such as Gremlins, Secrets of the Mogwai, The Joker movie, Cartoon Network shits, Sesame Street, yo. Basically what I'm trying to say is this, yo. If AEW can secure any type of original content, whether it be some sort of introspective documentary of the company, hell, maybe they could even start backfilling 6 months worth of Dynamite episodes on the platform. Maybe do half a season, maybe consider them full seasons in increments of 24 to 26, I don't know. This would allow them to have exposure to a wider audience looking for other means of entertainment, man. And them being there smack dab in the middle of all that other shit will give them a sense of legitimacy possibly in the eye of some of the casual viewing public. And just another extra thought as well, man. Who says that AEW's new hour of programming from their new deal with Warner can't be on HBO Max? Who says that it can't be something that's TVMA? Something that's going to give them the ability to truly test the limits of a company that doesn't have to answer to stockholders. It's just a thought, man, but moving on, yo. So coming in at number 3 is actually TNT, man. I'll keep this short. It's obvious that TNT is the home of AEW's flagship show, but similar to what they did by having Chris Jericho show up on Inside the NBA, they have opportunities here for cross-promotion with larger audiences such as the NBA and the MLB. I'm assuming that sometime in the future, TNT will also integrate their original network programming with AEW roster, which will aid in providing some additional exposure as well for the brand. Alright, yo, moving right along, man. Coming in at number 2, I'm gonna say TMZ. I mean, did you really think that TMZ organically gave a fuck about MJF and the little stupid ass kid? Nah, yo. Like I've said before, all of this shit is smoke and mirrors, and it's all a part of the game. TMZ is owned by Warner Brothers, which in turn is owned by, yeah, you motherfuckers are catching on, Warner Media. If TMZ is down to operate work shoot angles similar to what was just possibly performed with MJF at the autograph signing, then they'll have the biggest opportunity here to push their product into the land of dumbass people who follow pop culture all day, which unfortunately is where a lot, if not the lion's share, of your untapped casual viewer currently resides. TMZ viewers typically suffer from fear of missing out, yo. So they're the type to immediately hit Google to search for who a MJF is because they spend the majority of their waking hours living in the fictional make-believe world of the internet, while the real world suffer from atrophy from the lack of needed attention necessitated to be a functional fucking human being. With that said, the glaring positive for them is that the majority of the world also is suffering from the same fate. So in actuality, they all just collectively blend into this one big ass blob of nothingness and shit like that. The only people who truly suffer are those of us who refuse to let the real be replaced by a simulacrum, simply because the real is too much to bear. I know I just went off on a motherfucking tangent and shit, but fuck it, I am who I am, yo. On to the next one. I'm recording a couple of these in sections, so before I actually get to number one, the very obvious number one, I have a couple of honorable mentions I want to run through first, beginning with Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report was purchased by Turner Broadcasting the better part of a decade ago for approximately $175 million, which ironically is approximately what the 4-year collective Warner Media deal with AEW is worth. How about that? Bleacher Report currently serves as AEW's pay-per-view outlet, as well as a media arm regularly reporting on AEW news. With Bleacher Report firmly entrenched as one of Warner Media's properties, AEW gains the benefit that once only went to the WWE as a regularly profiled professional wrestling company on their platform. Alright, so I have one more honorable mention left before I wrap this shit up. This one is on the list because it was actually kind of hard to find a media tie-in originally, but a new one had to be there, and that's comicbook.com. You see, I had been peeping the uptick in AEW-related content on the site recently, and since I'm cursed to see slight variations in patterns, sometimes I have to find a why when I see a new variation of a what. Comicbook.com was recently purchased by CBS Interactive, who is a subsidiary of the CBS Entertainment Group. The CBS Entertainment Group's parent company is Viacom CBS, which is a new legal entity created last year which owns a number of subsidiaries such as Paramount Pictures and Bellator MMA, where AEW's Jack Hager is currently signed as a competitor. The property that makes this interesting is that Viacom CBS owns 50% of the CW network, which is where Warner Media leverages a huge share of their current ownership of DC Comics. Yeah, they own that shit too, yo. The other half of the property is owned by AT&T, which also owns, yeah, you motherfuckers know, Warner Media. Whatever the case, AEW having content on comicbook.com is another way to reach a huge pop culture audience, and it's a brilliant use of both companies' external and internal resources if this is indeed the case. And to finish off this list, man, coming in at a clear and decisive number one is AT&T, yo. I mean, shit, if you remove Warner Media from the equation, AT&T's potential impact to AEW is still damn near endless, man. It's both the biggest telecommunications company in the world and the largest provider of mobile services in the world. These motherfuckers are literally the streets that this digital shit lives on, and they have direct access to the hands of millions of people in the world at a moment's notice. Some of their biggest competition are only their competition because they were once a part of AT&T and were mandated by the United States government to be divested from the company. They are also one of the largest political lobbying bodies in the nation, with politicians on both sides of the aisle in their pocket. So once again, their reach is practically boundless. I mean, AT&T has the ability to send AEW advertisements as part of their monthly billing statements to anyone on any platform for any service that they offer at any motherfucking time. Think about that shit. I mean, they can opt to have faces of the company as part of their official rollout for HBO Max or any of their platforms if they felt that it was worth it to do so. The company plans on being a player in the podcast arena in the coming years, and with as many wrestling podcasts as there are at this time, they could practically buy wrestling media if they decided to. Just think about that. A monopoly on the actual media that covers a company that they're in bed with. Who's to fucking say that they won't buy AEW? In addition, though, as well, just to be clear, there are companies who just took on a shitload of debt. The deal with AEW shifts all production costs to AEW. So essentially, for $41 million a year, AT&T has purchased over 600 plus hours of video content that they can use on various social media platforms. Both sides gain a little. AEW stays afloat, and Warner gets a ton of content that they won't have to spend a dime to produce. Think about that shit too. But all in all, these are 5 ways, maybe even 7 ways, that AEW can use a bit of smoke and mirrors to create a buzz for themselves in the years to come. But time will only tell what role that Warner wants them to play in the layout of their attempts to negate a lot of this debt that they've taken on with the massive content purchases. That's all I got, y'all. Y'all be good, man. Holla at it. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more consistent. Yeah, that's a word. All right, yo, holla at it.